one of those trips to connect with the man who ended our last chapter, the Sheriff of Carroll County, Tobe Leazenby. Barb took him down to Deer Creek, below the bridge, and just around the bend from where searchers located the girls' bodies. They had a wide-ranging conversation, and frankly, he went places that he hasn't gone with us before. About evidence, about the video, and interestingly enough, about regret.
There is a lot of evidence in this case. Is that a fair statement?
From what I know, yes.
Back in April, you mentioned perhaps a smudged fingerprint. Is that a piece of evidence?
There were some fingerprints collected, yeah. So, but again, practically every crime scene's got fingerprints too, for the most part, unless they're, wearing gloves or something.
Mm-hmm. Do you know if those fingerprints belong to the killer?
That I do not know.
And same with DNA. You have DNA.
Yes.
Do you have his DNA?
Again, we don't know. We haven't, no one's charged, no one's jailed yet.
How frustrating is that for you?
It is. It's very frustrating, but I'm a patient man by nature, and I know that doesn't provide much relief for family, but and friends. But again, I feel like justice will prevail.
Could you release more of the video?
I suppose, and that's been obviously brought up a number of times through the last 4 years, almost 4. I'm not real sure from what I know, what advantage it would have at this point. I think people anticipate that there's something, if you will, earth-shattering that's going to jump out at them to go, hey, it's so-and-so. No.
That all of you guys watching it every couple of weeks haven't noticed yet.
Right. So I don't think at this point, Barbara, it would make a huge difference in providing any additional.
Is there more audio from him on the tape than what's been released?
Not that I am aware of.
So he says, guys, down the hill, and those are the only words spoken by him.
Right.
How helpful has that video been?
I know there are still items within that video that are still being studied and considered. And so I still consider it a positive key piece of evidence that eventually will be used in the courtroom. I'm still confident that we will receive that justice. It's just this one we've had to be very, very detailed with as far as digging into it to find out what's the connection here.
How often do you go back and watch it? Have you done that at all?
I have. On average anymore, I would say at least once every 2 weeks, sometimes sooner. As you well know, I have still images posted in my office. Mm-hmm. I still have those there as a reminder that we still have this. And we've got to continue to be vigilant and continuing to pursue this.
What about cause of death? How they were killed? Mm-hmm. Is that something that could be released?
I think, again, circling back around to what I said earlier as far as saving certain things for the courtroom. Because obviously, as far as we know, there's only one individual that knows how that happened or what happened there. And so if we shared that, granted, that individual's going to know that we are correct when we say that. But again, that's another piece of the bigger picture that we want to keep a hold of for now.
And that wouldn't really help an outsider to know whatever that is.
No.
It wouldn't help an outsider to go, it's
You're right.
John Doe.
Right. Yeah. It's not anything that's going to create anything new for anyone to say that.
Do you have regrets about anything that you've done or not done in this case up to this point?
I think we all do. Personally, for me, yes. There were some avenues we looked at and decided, and one of those was actually bringing in a canine bloodhound unit and we actually, honestly, we had them on their way. They were coming from Missouri. And once the girls were located, then, we contacted those representatives and told them, okay, respectfully, we don't need you any longer because we've located them. I mean, all in all, from a positive angle, I feel like we've had practically every known, whether it's local, state, or federal law enforcement agency, come alongside of us and say, hey, what can we do to help? Resource-wise, I guess my point is, resource-wise, we had the resources, and still do have the resources available to us to come on board. The one thing that still, and I'm not real sure if they could have done anything else, even though we located the girls, but the one thing we could have potentially maybe had the canines continue, and there could have been other things they could have played a role in, but
like maybe tracking where he went?
Right, yeah. Other than that, I'm human, and I make mistakes, and I'll continue to make them. I don't know what else there could be brought up.
Do you know for certain which way this killer left?
I guess the way I'll respond to that is there is speculation, but nothing factual developed at this point.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to say, that you want people to know?
We're going to keep at it. I still circle back around to I still believe in justice, and I still believe in good winning over evil, and I still have my strong faith personally for me, and that's still vitally important for me. And so, one way or the other, I still have that. I still have some confidence about us that we will get justice for Abby and Libby.